Hey, guys.
Coach, how was the energy with the finish line so close?
Oh, it was okay. You know, you get to the last week, just about wherever I've been, everybody can, it's just trying to get to the end. You know, we could have been better today, but we got a lot of reps. You know, we've got one more day really of full pads, which is Wednesday before the spring game.
Coach, as a training camp wraps up for the spring, what do you want? Talk about how important it is to use this camp to lay a foundation of what you want to do here.
Well, I mean, it's from day one. It started before camp. So, you know, we've been discussing that through strength and conditioning, meetings, and now playing football. So, you know, it's for our guys, they understand, I think, what we're trying to do. We'd like to get out of this camp with a 2 deep, but you know, I don't know if that's possible based on numbers and based on everything else. You know, along those lines, you know, people are worried or talking about, well, Coach, I hope you don't have. I've had a couple of people Saturday night talk about that. I hope you don't have that crazy scoring system for the spring game. You know, but it's just the way it is. We don't have enough guys to split the team in two separate teams. Number one, and number two, we still need another day of practice to get some stuff out of it. And, you know, our quarterbacks need development. We didn't have and haven't had both our tight ends for the last 4 days. We had Prelude a little bit. He had I don't know, he's really, really sick. And so, you know, we just didn't have those guys. But you get down here to the end and you're trying to figure out, you know, how we can keep practicing, how we can keep developing our football team. And I just don't want to go out there Saturday and have our quarterbacks throwing the guys just because we split a team to have a game, throwing the guys with no names on their back that will never play for us. And trying to keep the guys who play, who are going to play significant time for us together, whether it's offense or defensively. And we can't afford to give that day away with guys out there that nobody knows who they are and just trying to play a football game. So we're going to get another day out of it, and it won't be that crazy a scoring system, but we just got to do it.
So it'll be similar to the way you've done it so far with the scrimmages, or?
No, it'll be a game. It'll be a game-type situation, and the scoring system ought to be out. It's pretty simple, but it'll be offense versus the defense, basically, and we'll go ones versus twos to try to keep some continuity on both sides. It also allows us to rotate some guys who are twos to ones just to get another good look at them, and some of the guys that are ones to twos if they're not holding up what they're doing during the game, and instead of running guys back and forth with those, I hate those beanies and yellow jerseys. I think that looks terrible too. So, you know, either way you go, you know, the way it is right now for us, scholarship-wise, numbers-wise, you know, we can't put two teams out there and to go against each other that are quality. You're going to have a future pro offensive lineman blocking somebody you've never heard of, you know, which is not right. And, you know, we need to have our guys working against our good guys working against our good guys and getting each other better and getting some unit continuity.
After watching the film from Friday night, what was your evaluation of the quarterbacks?
I thought, you ready for this?
Yeah.
The same thing as the week before. I thought they did some good things. And I thought they did some bad things. So, you know, we will continue to coach them. We will continue to rep them. And you know, I think guys are starting to understand, as I said at the beginning, the first thing guys got to understand is his limitations, which most quarterbacks don't do that. They admit they don't. Most of them don't think they have any limitations. That's a good thing. But, you know, you got to understand, too, that there are 10 other guys out there that can play. The perimeter in particular, you know, there's 4 or 5 other guys out there that can help you. And, you know, you got to know where they are and when to get down, when to get out of bounds, when to run the ball. You know, we've got athletic guys. And then, you know, you put Matt in the mix and he'll try to throw it through the car wash, you know. So that's his strong suit. So they're all using their strong suits, but they got to learn how to use them within the offense.
Coach, from the beginning, you talked about consistency, but are there players who have been there showing up day in and day out, and are there players throughout spring
Yeah.
practice who are at that point?
Yeah, we've got a couple guys like that. You know, we talked about it. You know, some guys are up and down. We're working on just general effort all the time. I think Ben Molina's one of those guys that we can count on. You can see it. You know, I yell at him a bunch during the scrimmages, but, you know, he's a guy that we can count on. We've moved him even into a personal protector role in punt. You know, he's a guy that, which I you know, there is no greater compliment than that. There's no more, maybe no more expensive play than punt, and a guy who sets the protection and gets things done. That's a real compliment to him and how he's approached things, how he's been there every day. You know, his role, I think, he's really, really done a nice job. You know, I think obviously our two tackles have done that. Cedric has been pretty steady. You know, for Pat to move in there at center, he's been pretty steady. The snaps have not been a problem. You know, you think about it now, you go through with two brand new centers, him and Ben Compton. I mean, two guys that are throwing shotgun snaps back there in the last 2 weekends. You really haven't had too much of a problem. And like I said, you know, centers and basically the O-line in general, if you're not talking about them, then they're doing a good job. So they've been pretty good. You know, we've had some other guys. I think Shazer Everett has the ability to do a lot of things and handle it. And Sean Porter has been better. The surprise to me has been Stephen Jenkins. I think we got a real, and that's not to say Donnie's doing poorly. I think both those guys have really pushed each other to become good players. And, you know, that's what this team needs. We need that type of competition across the board, and that helps coaches a lot more than screaming at them when you can just say, get out of there and put the other guy in. It might not be, it'll be a while before you get back on the field.
Coach,